Google just reduced its scroll limit by 87%. Here, this used to be 15 megabytes. So Googlebot used to crawl the first 50 megabyte of each file on your website. Now it only crawls the first 2 megabyte of any file on your website. What does that mean? So your web page, that's a file, only 2 megabytes of that content. If you have CSS, if you have JavaScript, each of those files have to be 2 megabytes or less. Every single file on your website has to be 2 megabytes or less, or Google is not going to crawl the entire document. However, the only exception is a PDF file where Google crawls 64 megabytes of a PDF file, right? Show you an example here. I'm crawling Amazon.com, right? And I select HTML files, right? So let's see what is the file size here. If you go scroll to the right a bit, and then yes, here, right? So 1 megabyte is 1,000 bytes, right? So divide this number by 1,000. So we want to see the biggest pages. These are 2.3 megabytes, for example. So what's going to happen here is that Google is going to crawl only the first 2 megabytes of the page. What does this mean for SEO? This is a direction for Google to optimize its performance. It wants to minimize the amount of data it has to go through. This means there's a lot of garbage online, unfortunately. And also, let's take into account that Google is crawling for AI, like AI overviews and Gemini and AI mode. And these things are resource intensive, and therefore Google needs to optimize its scroll limit, right? There are two outcomes of this change. One that it's a technical outcome where you need to make sure you're obviously following best practices here and the recommended crawl limit for all your files. And then the second thing is make sure every byte on the page, every word on the page is efficient, is needed there. Don't stuff, don't fluff, don't just write for the sake of writing. This type of content obviously is not going to get you anywhere. We know that already, but this is also a sign from Google that they're trying to be very efficient in what they crawl and very selective in what they crawl, and make sure your content is worth crawling.